it's Nikki Glaser, and you are watching Du Bois Podcast, the 200th episode with me, Joe's crush, celebrity crush, among other women, but I'm number one. The 200th episode with me, Nikki Glaser. Watch it now. Tom also lost $30 million in crypto. Tom, how did you fall for that? I mean, even Gronk was like, me know that not real money. Like,
and if you're younger than me, girls in your 20s and 30s. Fuck. I forgot how old I am. I'm in my late 30s, okay? I'm in my latest 30. And so, hold on. But yeah, you will age, everyone, all girls in your 20s, you will age. I know you think you won't. I used to be like you. You'd look at women like me or older and you just kind of go like, that's so sad.
Your name sounds like something Adam Sandler would say. No, Salome. Timothy and Salome. Oh, yes, Timothy Chalamet. I think Sandler's here. Sandler, can I get a Chalamet?
Welcome back to an episode of the Voice Podcast. My 200th interview special, actually. I have a very special guest today. My guest is a comedian, actress, podcaster, writer, host, and singer-songwriter, as well as an Emmy, Grammy, and Golden Globe nominee. My guest has hosted projects such as Not Safe with Nikki Glaser, Blind Date, F-Boy Island, Lovers and Liars, and 2025's Golden Globes Awards. My guest has been in projects such as Trainwreck as Lisa, AP Bio as Chloe, and Close Enough as Vanessa. You may also know her from her iconic moments in 2024, like the Tom Brady roast and her special, Someday You'll Die. So welcome the woman, the myth, the beautiful legend herself, the roast queen, who's also the world's #1 Swiftie, who's also a badass. I'm going to be honest, my celebrity crush, Miss Nikki Glaser. Welcome.
Oh
Nikki.
my gosh, that is so nice. What an introduction. Thank you so much, Joe. It's great to talk to you. That is so nice. It's really cool to hear all of your credits like listed like that. Sometimes you forget all the things you've done, and I'm like, whoa, oh yeah, that too. Oh yeah, I did that. So I appreciate that. It's a nice reminder.
Of course, and it's crazy. You're my 200th interview. It's like, wow.
Congratulations. That's a ton of interviews. You're a pro at this by now.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I had to get the legend, it's my 200.
I am so honored to be a legend status in your mind and your celebrity crush. That means so much to me. As someone who has tons of celebrity crushes, that I know what that means. I know the weight of that, and it means a lot.
Thank you, of course. Now, what have you been up to? How's Nikki doing? How you doing, Nikki?
I'm good. I just had a really long break after the Golden Globes. I gave myself the month of January to just do nothing. And so I've been saying no to literally this is the first interview I think I've done since the Golden Globe, or maybe I've done like one or two things, but it's been weeks since I've actually said yes to something and shown up and done it and been on mic. I mean, I do my own podcast, but I usually my life is just like go, go, go and doing one thing after the next. But this is the first, this is the first time in a really long time I've taken a break. So it's been nice, but I realized that I need to be working to feel good. I felt a little bit depressed. I felt a little bit down, a little bit just like not really knowing what to do with myself and feeling like when I have time off, I'll fill my day up with so many things, seeing friends, going on hikes, working out and meditating. I haven't really done any of that. It's been it's pretty depressing if I'm not like working. I don't really exist.
Makes sense. That makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. Wow. And you host the Golden Globes so good. Like you were very funny. Like the Chalamet thing was the funniest.
Thank you.
It was funny.
It's so silly.
Wow, that's cool. And wow, okay. Now, what made you want to become a comedian? Who did you say your biggest inspiration for comedy? Like, who did you idolize growing up for comedy?
What made me want to be a comedian was the first thing that I had ever been good at in my life. It was the first thing that I tried as like a young adult, and I seemed to have an affinity for it. There was already like a base layer of like, oh, you're good at this just starting out. Everyone's bad when they begin at something, but I had I got a lot of positive affirmations right away for, people telling me I should do stand up. And then when I finally did it, it just felt easier than any other endeavor I'd ever tried. It wasn't easy by any means, but it just felt like, oh, I like doing this. And it's like not hard to do the hard work. So that was what made me want to be a comedian. I had always wanted to be on TV. I always wanted to perform in some way, and I really didn't know what way that was going to be. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be a singer. I was like, oh, if I could move at all, I would be a dancer. But it just, there was always just me looking for some kind of way to become a performer. And I had not really considered stand-up comedy. I just always thought it was like something men do. I didn't really, I knew women did it, but I just didn't, it wasn't like my favorite kind of comedy as a child because stand-up's so cerebral and it's kind of boring. It's a person standing there talking into microphone. So when you're a kid, you kind of want the masturbating bear on Conan. You want, the cheerleader sketch on SNL. You want like things that are more geared towards kids. So comedy for me growing up, I was more interested in sketch comedy, but I never really pursued that. But then as soon as I became an adult, I was like, oh, I get to perform, but I also get to write the things that I say. This is way better than acting. And then it fit like a glove. It felt so right the first time I did it. And that's kind of why. And then the people that I idolized growing up was Conan, Seinfeld, and then early on in stand-up, Sarah Silverman, when I first discovered her and started kind of going like, what would it look like if I did stand-up? I should start watching some people. Sarah Silverman was someone who stood out to me immediately as, she's really adorable and likable and someone that I could want to be friends with, but she's also saying like really shocking things that would kind of, ruin a dinner party if you were just to say them off the cuff, which is how I've had lived my life for so long of just saying inappropriate things. And I'd be like, but it's true. And then suddenly I saw this vehicle where you could say things that were true and everyone didn't hate you for it because you were on stage and with a microphone. And so that's why I love it.
Wow, that's cool. And then you mentioned earlier on with your podcast. That's my favorite podcast, by the way. Your podcast.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That means so much to me.
Of course, everybody. You gotta check out her podcast. It's very, very fucking good. It's awesome. It's amazing.
Thank you. It's just it's the most real version of me that I put out into the world for sure. It feels like when I meet people that listen to my podcast, including you, I'm like, oh, you know more about me than my family, because my family doesn't listen to the podcast, but like people that listen to podcasts, when you talk into a microphone for 2 or 4 hours a week, things are going to come out that you haven't told anyone else. So the people that listen to my podcast know me very intimately. Anyway, what was your question? So sorry.
Oh, you're fine. No, I just want to say I love your podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. What is your favorite joke you've ever told? Your favorite joke?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think, my favorite jokes are the ones that kind of have a almost lyrical, melodic nature to them. So there was one at the roast. I'm gonna mess it up because it's so hard. Once I tell a joke, I kind of on TV, I retire it from my brain and I like literally dump it. It's like the space it was taking up needs to be replaced. Like I don't need it in my brain anymore. But I remember them from seeing clips. The one that I really liked that was like a fun thing that was like almost a beat was like, Jeff Ross is here. He's dressed like Prince, the Prince of Wales. You're a whale, you're fat. Like it was something like da 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 da. And then there was one that was like, Rob Gronkowski is here. And Rob, you're not as dumb as you look and sound. You're not really as dumb as you look and sound and act and are. And that was another one that's like, I like those because when you tell them, it's almost like singing a song. When you're singing a song that you know really well, you don't have to think about what comes next. It's memorized because it follows a beat. So those I don't have to like think about as much. They're like kind of in my bot. Like if I've said them enough, they're just in my wiring and I get to kind of like sing. And I like music. So I like the ones that feel like I'm keeping a beat are my favorites.
And you mentioned the Gronk thing. Your Gronk impression was so funny when you did.
Oh yeah. Tom, you lost like millions of dollars in crypto. What was that about? Even Gronk is like, crypto, me know that not real money. That was really fun to be like, me know that not real money. And just do like a caveman thing. And then to have him be right there to kind of like react to it and look kind of dumb in his reaction, which obviously was a really valuable assist in that moment. It just sells the joke so much harder to have the person that the joke is about kind of act the joke out. So I really owe it to Gronk for that moment. He was a really good sport about it.
That's true. See that joke's funny. I also liked your joke where you said in your special the Mario origin.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you so much. That was the joke that Yeah. Oh my God. That one was really good too. I haven't done that see, I literally, Joe, have not done that joke since that version you saw. You know, like once I record a joke, I totally forget it. So it's really fun to like hear people be like, I like that joke. And I go, what joke? Oh, the joke that used to be my closer a year ago. Like it's crazy how you just flush your brain after taping a special and it just all goes away. And it's not even a conscious thing. It just it happens, and it's fun to hear old jokes that I've told back to myself and go, oh yeah, that was really good. And then I'm like, oh, I guess I am funny, because sometimes self doubt comes in.
I just thought that was funny, like the whole thing. Like he said he's like Mario. I can't do it, but you know,
Oh
it's
yeah,
me.
like it's a me, a Mario. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm an underrated impressionist.
Yes. Now, can you walk me through the process? How did you get the Golden Globes gig? Like, how did you land there? That's really cool.
Well, it's like landing that gig is a 20-year process, like you have to be doing comedy for a really long time before someone says, hey, you should do a Tonight Show set. And then you do a Tonight Show set, and then you think your life is going to change, and then it doesn't. And then you move back home with your parents and you start middling at clubs that no one's ever heard of. And then you get enough money to move to New York City. And then you start a podcast in New York City, and no one listens to that podcast. Then some people do. Then a New York Times reporter writes about that podcast, and then people hear about the podcast from the article, and then someone at MTV reads that New York Times article and they go, oh, we're looking for a show hosted by some girls. Maybe these girls should do a show. Let's invite them in to pitch a show. So then you go in to pitch a show, and then they give you a show on MTV, and then that show's on for a season and a half. And then it's just like, it's little things like that. Like you do things throughout your career. You get a show here, it gets canceled. You get another show here, it gets canceled. People just like start seeing you in different places. That's why I say yes to like everything, because for a while coming up, it was about just saturating yourself into the business. Like, try to say yes to everything because you just want everyone to go, oh, I think I recognize her face. Like you just want to be out there, and you want experience. Me saying yes to Dancing with the Stars, me saying yes to The Masked Singer. These are all just opportunities for me to practice being in front of a camera, so that when it really matters, not that those shows don't matter, but when the stakes are really high, like a Golden Globes type thing, I've been in front of the camera so much. I've gotten my near 10,000 hours that you need to become an expert, that it's easy for me to do. So the Golden Globes wasn't easy by any means, but the reason I got that was because of the roast, and the reason I got the roast is because of all the work that came before that. So I think people saw me on the Tom Brady roast. It really elevated my star status or whatever. Just a lot more people knew about me after the roast than they knew before. And then that the right people just saw it and were like, maybe she should host the Golden Globes. And then it's just a call here, a call there, and then would she be interested in that? That's a hard gig. A lot of people turn it down. Oh, she is interested in it. Okay, let's go back and talk to CBS. Would they want Nikki Glaser? Oh, they're considering it. Okay, maybe. Okay, and then this person turns it down. This person turns it down. Nikki's still down. Let's give it to her. I don't know if that's exactly the process, but that's pretty much it. And then you're sitting on your couch on a Friday night, and you get a call from from your agent, and they go, "We have some news for you. What are you doing in January?" And you go, "Nothing." And then they say, "You want to host the Golden Globes?" You go, "Okay." And then that's literally how it happened.
Damn, that's so cool, honestly.
Yeah.
You're also like the first female solo host too in history, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's I think that's a cool honor, but I do think Tina or Amy could have hosted it on their own. It would be I would like to in the future host it with someone. I like I don't know if I would. I mean, it's interesting because there's some jokes that you could do that you couldn't get away with. Like, there were some jokes I wanted to do on the Golden Globes that were really like, they were going to be groaners. The audience would have been like, oh, and if you have a partner there telling it with you, you can have that girl go, Nikki, don't say that. And you go, I'm sorry. And then it's like you make a joke out of it. But if I just say a bad joke and everyone groans, I'm just out there by myself and I don't have anyone to kind of it softens it. So there's good things about having a partner, but then you got to share the glory with someone else. And I don't want to do that. And you got to collab. You got to, which it's already a collaborative process. I have, team of writers, but when someone else is putting themselves out there to host with you, they're like, I don't want to say that. And it might be the funniest joke I've ever heard. And they're like, I don't even want to stand next to someone who says that. So I don't get to tell that joke. So I don't really want to like have to ever edit myself because someone else standing next to me is like, I don't want to be associated with that. Not that they would have that tone of voice, but that's the one I'm giving them for this fake scenario.
Wow. Well, that's really cool. Still, like when I saw the Golden Globes, it's like, yes, Nikki's the host. Let's go.
Thank you. Yeah, people were really excited. That was a really nice reaction from pretty much everyone. Like people I didn't even know, famous people that I didn't even know would know my name. Everyone was like really on board with it, and that just made me feel so good. It made me feel seen because people should root for me. I'm a nice person. I'm not going to do bad things with my money or my power. I'm not going to push other people down. I'm not going to abuse anyone. I'm not if I were to root for a celebrity, I would be rooting for me too. Or I would hope that other people had the same intention with their wealth and their power and their status that I have, which is not really a self-serving one. It's not that I don't like having money and nice things and but I'm not going to get canceled for something nefarious down the road. I'm not going to and I'm not going to make people who work for me hate their lives. Like I do good things with my power. I hope, and I intend to. Sometimes that's the problem. Sometimes people start out good and then they get so much power they become evil. So I'm always like checking that. That's why I live in St. Louis. That's why I keep like people in my life who aren't really impressed by my fame to be like, what is this? Like to like not question me, but just make me feel like a normal person most of the time because it's nice to feel big for your britches, but I just want my britches to fit just right.
Yeah, you're humble. That's what I like too. You're very humble, Nikki.
I stay humble. Yeah, it's really an obnoxious thing to say that you're humble, but I do think I am a humble person. But I bet everyone thinks they're humble, so I would question my own reasoning there.
That's cool too. You're a fellow Midwesterner because we're in Chicago, Illinois.
Heck yeah! You got to come to my show in Chicago. I'm doing the Chicago Theater like 5 times this spring, so you definitely you have tickets for sure on me. Yeah.
Thank
you.
You
gotta come out. Yeah, of course. You have to be there.
Yeah, she's got like 67 dates, guys.
It's insane. I'm working so much, but I have a new special coming out, and I have a whole new fan base of people who didn't know that I existed until the Golden Globes or the Tom Brady roast. So a lot more people are like, "Oh, I want to go see what she's about." And my stand-up is very different than what I do at the Globes. Not very different, but that's like made for TV. So I'll be interested to see how these crowds react to like what my stand-up is about. But I think they're gonna like it.
Awesome. I'm excited. Thank
you, Joe.
Of course. Now, if you were a comedian, actress, or anything in the industry, what do you think your career would have been? And what other hobbies do you have besides comedy?
What do I'm so glad I'm not an actress because you just kind of have to wait around for someone to write a role for you. And then even if that role's perfect, you're going to end up saying things and doing things in that role that you're like, I don't really like this, but I can't do anything about it. I'm not usually when you're starting out, you're not powerful enough to be like, I'm not saying that line. Let's rewrite it. So you just sort of like at the whim and the mercy of writers, which is great because, you get to work with talented people and people are better at writing than you probably are. But I like I'm a control freak and I like being in control of what I say. When I get asked to do something and they're like, here's the script. I'm like, well, I'm not doing this unless I get to rewrite it if I want. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's great, but I like having that ability. And and the next step of my career, I do want to make a movie. I've been touring and doing stand-up for so long, and I've done some TV shows where, I've worked with a cast or, just a crew of people on one project. And that is just such a fun experience to just go on location somewhere and be with a group of people on one project for a couple months. And there's like a sense of family and community in that I really lack in just touring on the road with my small little group of people that I travel with. So I look forward to making movies. And I'm just like, I watch movies and TV and I'm like, I turn it off right away. I'm like, this is crap. I hate this writing. People don't talk like this. And I talk so much shit. And it's like, okay, I got to put my money where my mouth is. Like, I can judge this stuff all day, but until I try to write a movie and it's great and I can prove like, see, I did it better than you, I got to really shut up. So in order to keep being as judgmental as I want to be, I need to be able to make art so I can like be like, see, I did it too and it's better. But until then, I got to keep my mouth shut probably a little bit more.
That would be cool though. Like that would be like interesting. Like the Nikki Glaser movie, maybe call it.
Yeah. Like, I just love I love movies like Trainwreck that I got to be in. I love movies like When Harry Met Sally. I like rom-coms, and I think that rom-coms have gotten away from being actually good and entertaining. I think they've the budgets are low. I think everything is spent trying to entertain men with explosions and robots and things like that, which is great. But I think that rom-coms just it's like feels like it's written by AI. Women don't talk that way, men don't talk that way. It's so formulaic. I just want to see more real things on in movies where it's like, oh, that's how real people talk. And I think just feel like we've gotten away from it, and I'm tired of it. And so yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to do a rom com. I'm getting a little old for one though, so it'll have to be like one like a Nancy Meyers one where it's like Diane Keaton style, where you like watch old people fall in love and it's still cute. So I got to do that. I either got to get older or younger. So because I'm in this like weird in between stage of people are just like, we don't want to see this at all. It's not adorable in either way. It's just awkward.
Do you have any hobbies? Like, do you hike? Do you have any hobbies?
I don't hike because I don't know why I don't hike. I just have no interest. I wish I had interest in it. I do Pilates, but that's not really a hobby. It's just I like to do things that are really hard to give me a false sense of accomplishment. It's how I like have self-esteem. It's how I combat depression, is just doing something every day that I'm like, I hate this. I don't want to do it. And then getting it done. It fills me with like, I can just stand up straight the rest of the day. Like I can just feel good about myself if I just persevere past being like, I hate this. So I do Pilates almost every day. But my hobbies really are, I like to play guitar and I like to sing. And so that's generally what I do but I have to be in a really good mood to do those hobbies. Like if if I'm feeling sad, I don't want to play guitar. So it's essential that I do the hard thing first. And then I reward myself with like the fun, guitar and singing. And that's just something I picked up in my late 30s. So I definitely wish I would have started sooner, but I always thought I was too old to start, which I learned you're never too old. If I would have just started 2 years sooner when I was 34 instead of 36, I would be that much better. So no matter what age you are, don't think you're too old to pick up an instrument. I think that's just such a dumb way of thinking. You can learn a couple chords and be able to play like almost all the songs. It's crazy.
That's cool. And Someday You'll Die, the song Someday You'll Die is like so catchy.
Thank you. Yeah, that was the first song I ever wrote. I mean, I've written little things here and there, but never like it was the first song I actually was like, I'm going to put this out and write this. And yeah, that was probably one of the most rewarding things because it was so scary to do. And secretly, I just want to be a songwriter. I mean, if I could snap my fingers and be anything, I'd be a singer-songwriter, but I'm it just doesn't come as easy to me as comedy did. So it wasn't the path I chose. And but it doesn't mean that I can't just like slowly chip away at it now. And writing that song was just proof like, oh, I can do it. I can write a song that actually I liked and that I'm proud of. And who knows if I'll do it again, but I did it once, so it's nice to be able to say I wrote one song at least.
Why not? And maybe you could do it for your other special. Your next special you said you come out with, do another song. You never know.
Joe, you're so right. I'm going to do that. I'm going to write a song for every special. It should be a thing I do now. That's just the Nikki Glaser way. Okay, good. It's going to be my thing.
The special song. I don't know.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you.
Of course. Now, favorite movies, shows, bands, artists, types of music?
Yeah, my favorite movies, like I said, really When Harry Met Sally, You've Got Mail, Sidewalks of New York is one I just added to my list this week. It's one of my favorites. I just love rom-coms. I love like simple love stories. I really don't like being scared. I don't like suspense. There's a lot of great things that I've missed out on. I bet I would love The Wire. I bet I would love Breaking Bad. I bet I would love The Sopranos, but I hate violence and I hate jump scares. So I will never enjoy those critically acclaimed things. Or not never, but it's just I will need to be on some sort of sedative to enjoy it. And then I love Succession was my favorite show of all time, and Seinfeld, 30 Rock, the Kimmy Schmidt. I forget what the name of the show is called, but I'm like on the 3rd season of it right now. And The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt is one of the funniest shows that's ever been. It's right up there with Veep, and I mean it's written by Tina Fey and the guy she wrote 30 Rock with. So it's like it's 30 Rock levels of like fire joke rapidity. And Veep, and then I Think You Should Leave, I think are my favorite comedies. And then music, Taylor Swift, Gracie Abrams, The Beatles, Wilco, Dave Matthews Band, Eminem. It's all over the place.
You're all like scared.
Yeah, I do like popular music. I like pop music, and yeah. So yes, I am all over the place.
That's cool. Now, okay,
This would
since
be the
you're
name of my special.
all over the place.
Yeah, I like that. All over the place. It really sums me up quite well.
Now, since you're a Swiftie, top 5 songs you like by Taylor.
Okay, I don't know if this is a precise because I haven't had time to think about it because it would take years, I think, to determine. But let's just go off the dome. All Too Well 10-minute version. Delicate. Um, The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, the bridge of that song. Go. Let me just look at my phone really quick because I'll look at my most. My boy only breaks his favorite toys. I know you asked for 5, but you're getting more than that.
We're fine.
And then I would say, oh God, what's the one? Who's Afraid of Little Old Me?
You look at your playlist.
Yeah, I'm looking at, and You're on Your Own, Kid. I mean, those are some of just off the top of my head would be my favorites. And the 15 also is one of my original favorite Taylor Swift songs. Love Story, of course, and The Best Day is probably the one that's like a deep cut that a lot of people maybe wouldn't expect. And I love the song Me, which is a lot of Swifties would rather that song didn't exist, and it's honestly one of my favorites. So I love the song Me, and I do love the part that she took out in the album version where she says spelling is fun, because it still exists in the music video. Anyway, let's not get into too deep with Taylor Swift because I'll never stop. But yeah, I love Me! Exclamation mark Me.
That could be like its own little podcast.
Yeah, honestly, clip it out.
Well, now, favorite teams. I'm assuming you're maybe a Chiefs fan because
Yeah, I mean, who at this point, Chiefs equals America. I love the Chiefs. I love Andy Reid. I love Patrick Mahomes. I love Travis Kelce. I love Kansas City. I started doing stand up in Kansas City. And so that town has a huge place in my heart. I also live in St. Louis, which is the other side of the state. So I'm a Missouri girl. I just love, but I also, the other night was rooting for the Bills because I have a friend who loves the Bills, and his livelihood seems to be balanced on whether or not they succeed or lose. And he's a guy who runs pretty depressed. So I was really rooting for the Bills because I knew that it would make that guy happy for years. And I feel like that's so important that's a really good reason to root for a team. Cause some people go, why do you root for the Chiefs? And I go, oh, I'm a Taylor Swift fan. They go, that's dumb. And I go, why do you root for the fucking, the Ravens? And they go, oh, because my dad told me if I don't, I'm disowned from the family. I go, well, that's a dumb reason too. Every reason to like a football team is dumb. None of the football players are from your town. So whether or not you're it's my town, they all were bought by your town. They're not from there. They're going to move out as soon as they retire, unless it's New York or LA or something. And so it's all dumb why you like a team. It's even if you just like the mascot or you like the colors, that's good enough reason to like a team. It's just as important a reason than I'm from that town to me, because nothing matters. It's just a game. But it is fun to root for a team. So I'll be rooting for the Chiefs, I believe. But I also could root for the Eagles as a Swiftie because it is going to be her future brother-in-law's ex-team.
That's true.
So I'm happy either way. I love Jason Kelce. I love Kylie, his wife. I love Saquon. I learned how to say his name this year doing these NFL things that I do, and I practice really hard to memorize it. Once you got it, you got it. It's I know that everyone listening that's a sports fan is how could she not know Saquon? The first time you hear it, it is hard but then once you get it, I'm how did I not know Saquon?
Yeah.
So I love him too.
Looks like Saquon almost that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I was saying Saquon, and people were you cannot say Saquon. I'm well, reading it looks like Saquon. Yeah. And so I said Saquon probably 1,000 times before I went live on air because it was Saquon. So his name is a transcendental meditation mantra that I've been using. It puts me into a relaxed state. Saquon.
It's not like when you're saying so many times, it's not like you're summoning him, almost like Beetlejuice.
Oh my gosh, I wish he would show up. No. If only were that easy.
Favorite food? Do you have a favorite food?
I would say I really like sushi. I really like summer rolls. Do you know what those are? They're like spring rolls, but they're like in a rice paper and they're soft and you dip them in
Oh,
like a peanut sauce and they have like veggies and rice noodles inside them and like
okay.
tofu. I'm a vegan, so I really like the texture of that, but I think my favorite food really is like cereal. It's like Rice Krispies, and if I were like making my like Honey Bunches of Oats, Rice Krispies, Lucky Charms. I don't really eat sugar, so these are just things that I don't even eat, but like with like milk, and then you let it like sog for a little bit. Like I like a soggy cereal. I don't like crispy cereal. So I would let my cereal sit for like 2 minutes at least before I dug in. Yeah.
Okay, so you said cereal. What's your top three cereals? I'm curious now. What's your cereals
I
go to?
think okay, Life cereal, Lucky Charms, Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds. And I really like Rice Krispies. I know that's like such a bland, boring cereal, but it's good.
Ooh. Okay, so
But
Rice
like
Krispies. Oh, sorry. Okay.
life too.
Why? But
Yeah.
who? Okay, what's the ultimate one though? Like, what's your favorite? I'm just.
I would have to probably say if it's like if I'm getting the electric chair and it's like my last meal, I'll probably go Lucky Charms. Have and let them sit for like 4 minutes and then dig in. And then I would layer it with Rice Krispies to give it a little crunch because Rice
Ooh,
Krispies absorb milk faster. So you put Lucky Charms first, wait 3 minutes, put Rice Krispies on top, wait a minute, and then eat it and then die.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, next time I see that, and when you come here, I'm getting some Lucky Charms. Like that's
I would love it.
like.
I think they have milk in them though. Actually, don't give me that. I'm vegan. I
Okay.
can't even eat them. Like I gave you a cereal I literally will never eat the rest of my life.
No, what cereal can I get?
Rice Krispies. I will totally down some Rice Krispies.
I got you.
Thanks, Joe.
People
Oh
like, what
God.
the hell? Why is there Rice Krispies?
No, like throw them on top of me after a performance like Gatorade on a coach. Like that's what I want to be doused in after I tape my next special. And almond milk.
Oh my.
You might get shot by my security if you dump those on me, but I think it'll be worth it.
What advice would you give younger people who want to become a comedian? What's your advice?
My advice would be don't ask for advice, just do it. Like just do it all the time. It should never you're not meant to do it if you don't love it. And if you don't, you will know if you don't love it because every time you go on stage, you'll be like, why am I doing this? Like, you should really love it. It shouldn't feel like hard work, at least to me. I think that would be my advice. And watch a ton of stand up. Like, don't be too cool to like consume what you love. I think it rubs off on you. And, we are our influences. Like, art influences art. So, any artist you love is not, no one's truly unique out of nowhere except like the first caveman who like banged on a rock with a stick. Like, that was maybe the first unique musician, but everything has influenced something else. So, don't worry about being influenced by other people. Like, that's what art is. You become like an amalgamation of all the things you consume. So, consume a lot, go see comedy, and then go on stage literally every chance you get, no matter how bad the gig is. Like, don't ever be too cool for something. Get famous, and then you can be too cool for something, and then you can start saying no to things because you can't do everything. But in the beginning, when you are hard up for stage time, just say yes to everything.
I like that. I actually like Admiral. I said earlier, stay humble. Remember where you came from.
Remember how you got there. Yes. Leave Rice Krispies along the way so you can trace your steps.
I like that. Now, what's one thing you like to tell your fans at home, Nikki Glaser fans, your besties? What do you like to tell your fans at home?
I would like to tell them thank you for just like being my friend, even though I might not know you. Thanks for, forgiving me for when I say dumb things and loving me despite all like the bounty of I don't even think that's the right word, flaws that I have and for rooting for me and being happy at my successes and forgiving me for when I just say dumb things or say something you disagree with and not writing me off. Like I feel like the best fans can like kind of go with you when they disagree with you or they do agree with you. Like there's a part of me that always wants to like give my fans exactly what they want, but that's impossible because everyone wants different things. So I just appreciate them for liking me for who I am and not for who I'm trying to be. And because I can't keep trying to be people and even liking me for when I do try to be people and being like, oh, look at Nikki trying, like, just having my back, defending me in subreddits when people are mean, not feeding the flames when people are mean, and just like being an overall, I feel like my fans are overall good people. So good job putting good out in the world. And yeah, and thanks for the support. It means a lot to me. I know what it's like to be a fan, and I know that the feeling that a lot of people probably have towards me, because I feel it towards people that I'm a fan of, and it means so much to me to have that reflected on me. Like I know what it takes to love someone you don't know, and to consume what they do all the time, and root for them and feel like you know them. And to my fans, I would say, don't stalk me. Don't convince yourself you have a relationship with me and try to find me and you know make me your bride or whatever. But like, know that you and I probably would be friends in a different world where we could be. So you're not delusional in thinking that, but you are delusional if you think that that's going to materialize for you, because I just don't think it will. I just don't have the space in my life for it. And I hope you don't hate me for saying that to all my fans. Okay. The end. A simple thank you would have just sufficed, but instead I said too much.
No, in the future, somewhere down the line, would you be willing to do a part 2, answer some fan questions?
Of course, Joe. Let's do it.
Awesome. Yeah, because I'm
Am I
sure
gonna say no to you?
Thank you, Nikki.
Put me on the spot. You record me. Now I got to do it. No, of course I'll do it. Yeah, that's fun. This has been fun. Like most interviews are always like talking about your process and what was I don't know. It's fun to answer questions like, what's your favorite food? What are your favorite movies? Like, I feel like those are the kind of questions that I want to know from people that I'm a fan of. So I appreciate you asking those questions that I think other interviewers are too scared to ask.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I try to be
No.
unique. I try to be unique, so I'm sorry.
You are perfectly you and so unique, and I appreciate your questions.
Thank you. And hi, doggo. I see the dog.
Hi, doggy. She wants to get in on the interview. She's always trying to steal my limelight. That's why I'm putting her down right after this episode. We can't do this anymore. This is the last straw. Yep, we're off to the vet. Say good night. Bye bye. She's ready to go. She's an old dog. She's about 3, so it's time.
Yeah, because you made a post. You adopted her.
Yeah, but yes, you adopt, and then when she starts to get a little bit more likes on the Instagram than you do, she go bye bye. And all dogs go to heaven, so she'll be fine. You'll be fine. Bye bye. Last appearance. Just kidding. I love her so much. I hope she outlives me.
Now, before asking my last question, Nikki, do you have any questions?
Okay, who is your after me? Who's your until you discovered me? Who was your celebrity crush before me? Like, let's name some other celebrity crushes. I want to know who's in the harem with me in your ideal world.
I don't know if you know who they are. That's what's okay.
It's okay. It's if I don't, I'll look them up later.
Okay, Catherine McNamara. Do you know who she is?
Catherine McNamara.
She was in Shadowhunters. That's what she's known for.
Okay, that's this is gonna be a good one. McNamara. I'm looking her up. Oh, okay. So you have a type. All right. No, she's gorgeous. I love this girl. Oh my God, we kind of look alike. There's like a vibe. Okay, let me guess who else. Who else do you like? Do you like who's the girl that was in Game of Thrones? She was married to a Jonas brother.
There's so many
girls that would fit that description. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Okay, who else are your celebrity crushes?
Okay. She's lesser known, but she's pretty big on TikTok. Her name's Chloe Adams. She's a British singer.
Chloe Adams. Hold on. Oh, again! Look at you. You like blondes with deep set eyes. And no, it's totally fun. Do you like oh my God. Okay, and then give me a fourth one. This is insane. We could all be sisters. I seem to be the oldest of them, but I like that. It's a cool vibe.
Okay, but this one has different color hair though. You still want this one?
I still want this one.
Okay, but you probably see her. Okay, do you know the Wendy's commercials?
Yeah. Oh my God, the Wendy's girl.
Yeah, I interviewed her too, believe it or not.
Oh my God. What's her name again?
Catherine Feeney with a Kathryn and then Feeney, Feeny. Catherine Feeney.
Fee. Okay, got her. Oh my God, she's amazing. She's a director?
That's her.
Wait, she does directing too?
You look up the right. I hope you look up
Feeney, Catherine Feeney, Wendy's. Hold on, let's find this girl.
She was also Mr. Iglesias. She was in the Gabriel Iglesias TV show.
She was? Oh,
That's how I
okay.
discovered. That's how I
All right,
discovered.
listen, you have a wide array. Okay. It's more varied than I thought. You do have one brunette. Thank God. You don't discriminate.
Well,
I can go brunette and not worry that I will lose your admiration.
no, but the number one though is Nikki Glaser, the legend. Yeah.
The legend. Joe, this was amazing. I love you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Is there anything you want to promote and shout out to the viewers to check out?
No, we covered it all. I have a podcast called the Nikki Glaser Podcast. You can listen to twice a week on iHeartRadio. Follow me on Instagram, see me on tour, nikkiglaser.com for tickets. Yes, Someday You'll Die. That's the shirt, is the special. The tour is called Alive and Unwell. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Yeah, everybody, check her out. Buy tickets. I'll link it to your website to buy tickets.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I got you. Thank you, and Nikki, for being an awesome, amazing guest. I had a fun time chatting with you. Thank you.
So much fun, Joe. Thank you so much.
Have a great day, everybody, and stay awesome. And Nikki, you stay awesome.
You stay awesome too.